righty. Okay. So like always, at the beginning of all these presentations, got all the definitions listed, a lot of them for Rule 7. Again, as you're studying, and pull these out and use them so that way you can understand the terminology. There's a lot of fundamentals as well. Not as many as the kicking game, but a fair number of fundamentals. Remember, these are our laws, and they cannot deviate. For the snap, section 1, the snapper is kind of a unique player. Only his hands may be beyond the foremost point of the ball. Feet must be behind the neutral zone. He may lift the ball, but must maintain contact with the ground. So, ball's on the ground like this. He can kind of lift it like this a little bit. He can't rotate. It's got to be 90 degrees to the line of scrimmage, and he can't change the location of the ball. Now, obviously, we allow them to kind of adjust. We might even allow them to kind of scoot it forward an inch or two, but you're not going to allow him to go, end over end or make drastic changes to the location of the football. Snapper restrictions. So after the ball is ready for play, he may not remove both hands from the ball. So he can remove one, but not both. Make any movement simulating a snap. So if you got both hands, he's going to move one. He's got to do it slowly. Can't act like he's snapping the football. Has to clearly pause before the snap. So just like any other player, he's got to come to a pause there. Following adjustment, lift or remove the ball other than a legal snap. So he's allowed to make one adjustment, and then he's got to pause, and then he can snap it. If any of these occur, then we have a snap infraction, which is a illegal snap, which is a dead ball. Okay, so you cannot start a play with a illegal snap. The ball remains dead the entire time. Non-snapper play restrictions. So this is everybody else. Okay, we got a snapper, and then you got everybody else. This is A/K or B/R players. So by players, we're automatically excluding substitutes and non-players and replace players. All right, so after the ball is ready for play, before the snapper has his hands on the ball. So, now with the 40-second play clock, as soon as the umpire, spots it and backs out of there, the ball is ready for play. So if another player touches the ball or the defense, B or R, is in the neutral zone to give defensive signals, then we have a dead ball foul for encroachment. Okay, so that's before the snapper puts his hands on the ball. After the ball is ready for play and the snapper has his hands on the ball, all players, if they break the plane in the neutral zone, then they have committed a foul. Okay, now this excludes replaced players and substitutes. So until that substitute who's coming on, until he's on his side of the neutral zone, he's not penalized, obviously. And if a player is being replaced, if he runs towards his sideline and he obviously crosses the neutral zone, he's not penalized for that. If B or R contacts the ball prior to the end of the snap. So by definition, a snap ends when the ball touches the ground or any player. And if the B or R contacts the snapper's hands or arms prior to the ball release, then that's a dead ball foul. This is very difficult for the umpires to see. But basically what they don't want to do is, this happened at Blythewood a few years ago with me, that they were going to take a knee, and the next thing I know, he goes to snap the ball, and the ball shoots out the bat. None of us know how that happened. But, the question was, did the defensive lineman contact the snapper's hands before he released the ball? And if he did, if you see that, that is a dead ball foul for encroachment.
Who's going to get that?
umpire, and maybe one of the wing guys if they can see it.
Real hard for the umpire.
Yeah, but it's not it's not very easy to get. We kind of figured that after the fact when we heard the kid bragging about hitting the center's hand, but you know, too late then. Snap criteria. So the snap begins when the ball is first moved. It must be a quick, continuous backward motion. The ball must immediately leave the snapper's hand. The ball must touch a back or the ground prior to an A lineman, and this obviously excludes ball adjustment. If any of these are violated, then we have an illegal snap and a dead ball foul. So if he hesitates, if he starts to snap it, he stops. If he tries to snap it and he hits himself in the butt, then and he's in a shotgun, which is one of those little kids, then those are all illegal snaps, and the ball is dead. You just kill it. Okay. So this is an false start. So after the ball is ready for play, and a false start only applies to A players. No player will shift or take any sort of action simulating the snap if the act clearly intends to cause B to encroach, and a lineman between the snapper and the end moves his hands or make any quick movements after placing his hands on or near the ground. So the end can take his hand off the ground and stand up and go in motion, but just do it very slowly. If a player is between the end and the snapper, can't do that. If his hand's there or close to there, he cannot take his hand off the ground, nor can he flinch or do any sort of movements. The act clearly intended to cause B approach. You know, we've all seen it. It's 4th and 2 or 3rd and 3, and A does something different with their linemen, and it's a judgment call on our parts, but we have to be conscientious of that, be aware of the situation. You'll also see it on a punt. You know, they go up in scrimmage kick formation. It's 4th and 4. They'll do some sort of movement to make try to get B to encroach. So it's a judgment call as to whether or not you think that movement that A did or K did caused B to encroach. And if you did, then it's a false start. If you didn't, then it's going to be encroachment. This is one where you really have to get together as a crew and make sure that everybody's on the same page with that.
Derek, you see that too with backs going in motion. I mean, sometimes they fire forward and
Right.
Calls them off.
But yeah, I mean, if it looks weird, and you go, you know what, talk about it, make sure everybody's on the same page from that regards. Bill.
On the 4-second clock, I'm trying to hit the movement. Then it's really quick.
Yeah.
Moves.
Yeah, moves to position. Yeah. So the ball is spotted, umpire move into position. That's ready for play.
The difference moves you get.
Right. Yeah. And obviously, a false start is a dead ball foul. So. So it's fast, but here you got to. So the center kind of puts his head up. I don't think he does anything malicious on that one. I don't really see much out of the guard, and then that guy jumps in the neutral zone. So wing guys run together, make sure everybody's on the same page. We don't give signals. You don't stand on the wing and go, I got this, or I'm coming in like the NFL doing that. You run together, you talk about it, make sure everybody's on the same page, and then you just come tell me what you got. Yes.
Two flags up, both wings, they come in, and now you're talking about what you have amongst 22 other people. And I think it's better to side back
Yeah, I mean, I normally go to the line of scrimmage anyway and just separate them. So I don't stand all the way back and have everybody run to me. But yeah, but the main thing is just get away from the players. So it doesn't matter how you go about doing that. So again, no player, well, shift or again, clearly calls to be to encroach. Here's one. It's like 4th and about 2. Punt. So I would say that's obviously a shift to cause B to encroach. They all line up like that, then they all sprint out. And I'm sure somebody said a HUD in there, real intense. And that's pretty intentional there. Then somebody's a cheat in there. Here's another example.
Like West Virginia, I think you're going to beat them. Adam Troy's the running back. And Christian Wilkins and James.
Yeah, he pulled out on that. Got his hands back and starts running. To me, that's a false start. And that's they called on some other kid, but that's a false start on the quarterback. That's not how sometimes if he's changing the play, that's not how he gets out from underneath center. He gets out very deliberately. He changes the play. That is a pull my hands back and sprint to the right. To me, that's trying to call a false start, and I'm gonna approach, and I'm gonna call that a false start.
Yeah, them boys will try anything.
Yes, John.
You call that false start?
Hey, everybody, knock it off.
You call that a false start whether or not he encroaches?
Yes. Yeah. I am. Something that obvious, yeah. Because if I don't call it then, and he does it again later, and then they jump, now you're stuck. You're stuck. All right. So section 2 talks about formation, position, numbering, action at the snap. So positioning. A kind of has some limitations here. After the ball is ready for play, all of A players participating in the previous down and substitutes must be between the 9-yard mark before the snap. And so that 9-yard mark is the top of the numbers from the sideline right here. Okay? So that's what they have to be within that area. They have to be inside of this after the ball is ready for play and before the ball is snapped. This in theory, it prevents the hideout play where you run the 3 guys on, and then you have 2 guys run back, and you have 1 guy kind of hiding on the sideline. This, in theory, prevents that. If you're at a field that does not have numbers, then there should be a marking, a hash mark, something like that, that will signify the top of the 9-yard line. Okay. If A violates this, it's not a dead ball foul. It's a live ball foul that's simultaneous snap. Because until the ball is snapped, A can fix this. So they could have a guy that didn't get in, and then at some point, right before the ball snapped, he gets in there, then that's fine. So this is a live ball foul that occurs simultaneously with the snap. Linemen, by definition, players facing the opponent's goal line, shoulder pads roughly parallel to the goal line, head or foot breaking the snapper's waist. So here's the snapper here, his waist, that line right there. Head or foot can be in there. Linemen to either side of the snapper may lock legs, but no one else can. Other lineman is foot outside the closest foot. So here, it's hard to tell, but you see how they're kind of outside. These 2 guys, the guards, could lock with the center if they wanted to, or the snapper. Everybody else has to be outside. Again, That is a foul simultaneous with the snap. Again, a live ball foul because it can be corrected. So we have linemen, now we have backs. So now this is any player with no part of his body breaking the waist of the nearest lineman. There's one exception, and that would be the quarterback, a player that's in position to receive a hand-to-hand snap. So there is this area called no man's land. It's there between the snapper's waist and the nearest lineman's waist. And if you're in that land, if you're in that area, then you're not a back. You're not a lineman, and you're not a back. And then, as we're talking about the quarterback here, or one player in position to receive a direct hand-to-hand snap. He doesn't actually have to receive the snap, okay, but he has to be in position to receive the snap. And he's allowed to break that, be in no man's land from that standpoint. No more than 4 backs in formation. Again, this is a foul that's simultaneous with the snap, and this is a live ball foul. All right, so we have some other scrimmage requirements for A. Numbering, so you have to have 5 players numbered 50 through 79. These are ineligible by number. So you can have number 50 in the backfield, and he cannot go catch a pass. If he catches a pass, then we have a problem. But he can be back there. But you have to have 5 players numbered 50 through 79, and a minimum of 5 total on the line of scrimmage, and no more than 4 backs. Again, this is a foul simultaneously with the snap, because it can be corrected. So, but we do have some exceptions to this. And so 725 describes scrimmage down requirements. 5 players numbered 50 through 79. But in scrimmage kick formation, we talked about last week, there are exceptions. On first, second, and third down, the snapper may replace one player number 50 through 79. So if your deep snapper is number 30, then he can replace one of those players number 50 through 79. He has to be between the ends. On fourth down, you can replace any number. So they can all be replaced. And again, they must be between the ends. And players that are in formation under the numbering exception are ineligible receivers by position. So they may have technically a eligible number. Your snapper, your long snapper for a punt may be number 30, but he is ineligible by position. Okay. And again, this is a foul that's simultaneous with the snap. Thus, it's a live ball foul. All right, some other limitations for A. So A, player movements are limited. We have shift and we have motion. A shift, so all 11 players must come to an absolute stop for 1 second. No movement of their hands, feet, head, or body. Okay, so all 11 players must come to a stop before the ball is snapped. Only 1 player may be in motion at the snap. And if he's in motion, he has to be parallel to the line of scrimmage. If the end goes in motion, then he has to clearly establish himself as a back by a shift. So he has to take a step back, pause a second, and then he can go in motion, or he can go in motion 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, which I don't think we ever see that. But most of the time you might see, if Dutch Short, they do this all the time. They take their tight end, he stands up, he takes 1 step back, he pauses for a second, and then he goes in motion, and then they run for 50 yards for a touchdown. They always run to his side. He's always the lead blocker, but nobody can seem to figure that out. But that's the player A's player movements, shifts and motions, and the numberings. You notice we didn't say anything about B. B basically, as long as they don't have 2 players with the same number, they can be back doing whatever they want to do. They can move around. There's no restrictions on B.
Your question on the exception on fourth down, you can have all your, everyone on the line of scrimmage, 1-2-49 or what, 79 behind you. They're all ineligible.
by position, because they're gonna be between the ends. So they're gonna be, all those 5 players that are between the ends, they are ineligible by position. Yeah. All right. All right, so everybody's getting set, so that's, and everybody pause, and now he goes in motion. That's legal. Okay. But when A comes to the line of scrimmage, that's a shift. They all get set, that they all shifted. Then he goes in motion. And that's perfectly legal. So now we have illegal shift versus illegal motion. So what is an illegal shift? Not all of A players are set before the snap. 2 or more of A's players are moving at the time of the snap. A2 starts a motion prior to A1 becoming set or reset. So you could have, so one player goes in motion, he stops, gets reset, waits a second, and then another player goes in motion. That's perfectly legal. But if one player goes in motion and he's not completely done yet, the second player goes in motion, then that is illegal.
If he's still in motion.
No,
Or not.
well, yeah, the second player is. Yeah, second player is, yes. Illegal motion is a player moving forward toward the line of scrimmage at the time of snap. So if we have anybody going forward, either he's in motion, he starts drifting towards the line of scrimmage, or sometimes you'll see the back who kind of takes that little step, half step forward. Then you've got to get those. So your triple option teams, you'll see this. So Spring Valley. Oops. That's a problem. All right. So is that a dead ball foul or a live ball foul?
Live ball.
Right. Live ball foul. It's simultaneous because in theory, they could have fixed it. So both of those guys could have stopped for a second, waited, and then they could have snapped the ball. So that's why we give them a chance to correct themselves. All right. So you see the tipsy back? He got a little excited. Started early. So is that a dead ball or live ball foul?
You can do either one.
Depends on how egregious it is. I'm going to call that illegal motion because he was going forward at the snap. You call that a live ball foul. If you think he was trying to cause me to encroach, you could have called it a false start. All right, another one. Oops. So quarterback's going over there to change the play. Center snaps it. There's a foul on that. Okay, you still got to throw a flag on that. Now the defense may or may not have recovered, but that's illegal motion. He's moving forward, so you gotta call that flag that too. And again, this is a live ball foul that's simultaneous with the snap. Okay. Plan loose ball near the snapper. Homoruski. So no A lineman may advance a plan loose ball. So if they come and tell you we've got a plan loose ball, or say you just no, we're not. Just ignore it. That's whatever. Just ignore it. We go way back in the vault to find this one.
Now simply known as the fumble loose. Quarterback turned the field, gently dropped the snap onto the ground.
That is not legal.
Starting to rumbling for a touchdown.
So is this a live ball or a dead ball foul? Live ball. So the snap is legal. The snap is fine. What's illegal is the action right afterwards where the lineman picks it up and runs with it. So this would be a live ball foul.
What does he have to do to be legal?
He has to turn his back all the way and face the other goal line 1 yard behind the other line of scrimmage. Basically, he has to receive a hand ball. Or they can put it on the ground, but that would be kind of dumb. But you can do this if you hand it, and the ball snapped. He turns his back, takes a step backwards, and he's handing the football. Then that's legal. But just to put it on the ground by his foot and have the guy pick it up and run, that's illegal. All right, so that takes us into handing.
If they do the legal version, you kind of hope the coach alerts you at the pregame that could be.
Right.
You're not going to be paying this regard. So
Yeah, you have to be
you might blow it dead accidentally.
Yeah, to know what football is. Handing. So, 219. Transferring player possession in which both players simultaneously touch the ball. This is not a pass. And if you lose possession during handing, it's a fumble. Okay, so both players are touching the ball. Backward handing can occur by any player anywhere on the field. So backward handing is fine. You can do it any way you want to. Before handing, there are certain requirements here. Handing the ball to a teammate when the entire ball is beyond the runner's yard line. So that's the definition. So you can only do that if A or K is in or behind the neutral zone. Has to be prior to a change of possession. Back or in, not adjacent to the snapper. Or, like we just mentioned, the lineman facing their goal line 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. So, forward handing, only A or K can do it. And it has to meet those criteria. So, this will be an example of what it would look like. They snapped it, and then he handed it forward in between his legs to number 47.
Yeah, the ball comes in quick.
It's a
Yeah, he snapped it and nobody moved.
nobody moved.
Yeah, all the linemen stood still.
But everybody was set. Everybody standing there. Nobody says you have to get down in a 3-point stance. They're just standing there. Ball snap real quick, he hands it off, and they go. That would be an example of forward handing. And if B commits forward handing, then that's a foul. That's illegal. All right, so forward handing. So handing the ball to the teammate when the entire ball is beyond the runner's yard line. Again, only A or K may do this. But if the ball is in or behind the neutral zone when it's handed forward, prior to a change of possession, so back or in not adjacent to the snapper, or to a lineman facing their goal line 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. If any of this criteria is violated, then we have a foul. Now this is a spot foul, 5 yards and a loss of down. So this is one of your loss of down fouls on that standpoint. Section 4. So now we have fumble and backward passes. We talked about handing. Now we're talking about forward and fumble and backward passes. We don't have lateral, okay, in our language. So either forward or backwards.
That is 3rd and 7 on the 15 of the Gamecocks. They move 3 wide receivers to the right side. Carolina the fullback front. Tim Phillips out of motion. They throw it up to him on the flat. And Phillips drops the football. Is it a backwards throw? We shall see.
So whose call is that going to be mostly?
Hopefully not Todd Ellis.
Yeah. Particular officials, who's going to make that? Who's going to know? Who's going to have that call for that pass quarterback? Bingo. And so if it's backwards, what do? We officiate. We officiate. If it's forward, what do we do? If we don't know, what do we do?
Kill it.
When in doubt, it is forward and incomplete. So if we don't know, we're going to kill it. But if we know it's backwards, then we're just going to officiate. No bean bags. We don't punch. We're just going to officiate. Sometimes the opposite wing guy has the best look at it. So that's where communication there, if you're the opposite guy and you know it's forward, then kill it. Okay? But you got to come in and running it. You can't just be standing on the far sideline blowing it dead. You got to be coming. Odds are the referee is not going to know because I'm on the QB's passing arm. A lot of times they throw these right at me. So I don't have a clue. If it's going away from me, sometimes I might know, but we're going to defer to the wing guys on that. So it's one way you just have to be sure of yourself if it's forward or backwards.
What was it?
It's backwards.
Officials.
So that's what's going on.
Receiver to the right side.
All right, so he's at the 21 when he gets the snap.
Phillips out of
He
motion.
throws it from about the 22 and a half,
They throw it up to
and
him.
the ball hits his hand to about the 23.
Is it a backwards throw? We shall see. They're calling calls again.
They're calling officials. I think they're going to review it. On that right here, it's around the 25-yard line.
And remember, if it's lateral, quote lateral,
Oh, what?
that's backward. We don't have lateral. It's either forward or it's backwards. So if it's not forward, it's going to be backwards.
Backward pass should be.
Yeah.
It's a lateral.
Hey, it was a quote. You didn't catch that?
I'm with you, Tennessee.
Communicate.
Texting Bruce right now.
Don't watch the video. It'd be like that force equation like I used the other week that didn't quite get. All right, so fumble or backward pass. Any player may throw a backward pass or a fumble. Okay, I mean if it's backwards, we just go with it. The ball remains live. The ball may be advanced by any player to call or recover. So you can catch a fumble. If I'm running and the ball I get hit, the ball pops up in the air, and John can come catch the fumble, and that's what that means. Team possession when the ball is declared dead. So if the ball is out of bounds, if the ball goes out of bounds, loose ball, it's the player last in possession that belongs to that team. If for some reason it's inbounds with no player possession, then that would be belong to the team of the player last in possession. Or if it's inbounds with joint possession, it belongs to the team when the player possessing team when player lost when player possession lost. Okay, so A fumbles, both A and B jointly recover, they're going to belong to A. That's different than the kicking game. Remember we said with punts, or if there's a legal kick and there's joint recovery, it belongs to R. For this, for A and B, it belongs to A. And the ball out of bounds behind the goal line belongs to the team defending that goal line. Either it's going to be either a safety or a touchback. That's going to take us back to force. If a passer is contacted with his initial arm movement going forward and he loses control, then it's a rule to incomplete for a pass. So if I'm throwing the football and I get hit and it spins me around and the ball goes in a different direction, then I am releasing it. My intent is to go forward with it, and that's an incomplete pass. So we mentioned this again, force. Remember, it only matters in one direction. Goes from the field of play into the end zone. Initial force. Again, we talk about carry, snap, pass, fumble, or kick. So here's going to be a pass or a fumble. It's going to be the initial force or carry. Eligible for a new force, grounded. Keyword there is grounded, fumble, or backward pass. How do we apply a new force? Well, the loose ball is grounded. Has to be at or nearly at rest. Or player contact changes a loose ball's direction. So the example we gave last week was, say I fumble, and the ball is kind of rolling towards the sideline at the 2, and then another player comes to pick it up, and he muffs it, and it goes into the end zone. So the judgment call there is, would the ball have gone in the end zone on its own on the initial fumble, or did that player's contact change the direction of the loose ball and force it to the end zone? So that's a judgment there. There's also momentum that plays into this. This is an exception to the force rule. It allows BR to possess an opponent's ball and not be penalized going from the field of play into their end zone. So this applies to any catch or recovery inside of the 5-yard line. The ball is spotted where BR caught or recovered the opponent's ball. And again, we're talking about fumble and backward passes, so this would apply to this as well. So what's included? So B intercepts a forward pass, B intercepts or recovers a backward pass or fumble, and then R, which we talked about last week. So
stretching, nothing goes out of bounds, ball's out of his hands, inside the pylon.
So what do we have here?
Nothing goes out of bounds,
Fumble.
ball's out of his hands, inside the pylon. Oh my goodness.
Easy 1 to 4. That is the rule.
Mhm.
See this a couple of times this year
That
before.
pylon.
And it
What
was
do we have?
the Dallas Cowboys.
Touchback.
The biggest break of the night.
Fumble into his end zone. Goes out of bounds. We have touchback.
Touchdown instead.
You don't have much time to call it. You don't have that much time to look at it.
All right, so this is our field goal attempt that we saw last week.
Again, another touchdown.
Well,
Just tell them.
but it doesn't tell you how to use it. All right. Oh, we got a backward pass. First of all, he catches it. He runs into his own end zone, and then he throws it backwards. So what's the force on this one?
No.
Yeah, that will be a safety in this case.
That's what happened.
They got it right. They got it right for him. All right. So now we're going to go into forward pass clarification, and we're going to pass interference. And it's going to be the bulk of the remaining of our time here today. So legal forward pass. A player releases the ball with both feet in or behind the neutral zone. The neutral zone is a plane, so he's got to be behind, in or behind the neutral zone with both feet when the ball is released. Ball, let's say the ball will be on 29. And he was behind with both feet, even though he's in the air, he's still in the neutral zone. So this would be illegal for a pass. Now, mechanics on this one. Who's primary on that? Five-man crew. Referee. Referee. Who's backup? Umpire. So as a referee, you run to the spot where he threw it, and you look at the down marker, and you look at the umpire. You hope the umpire, if he can help you, he'll tell you. If not, it's fully on you. Because of that, we have to make it obvious. This was actually one of mine, and I called that illegal, and I violated my obvious rule because it wasn't that obvious. It was legal. But, you know, my kind of obvious rule is it's got to be at least, you know, a yard, 2 yards. Mom up in the stands knows it's illegal. I mean, it's got to be pretty obvious because we do have a gap there in the 5-man crew from that standpoint.
Didn't anyone have it, was it?
No, it was good though. Yeah, they did send me a nice email about afterwards.
Like Marion.
Yeah, yeah. And that way I didn't have to worry about the forward pass in Lake Marion. It was great. It's a legal forward pass. Nothing about you. Nothing says we have to throw it the natural way. You throw it forward or over his head. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, there's illegal jersey starting in 20, whatever it is. But that just proves the point that there's other ways to throw a legal forward pass. Okay. So don't be surprised you get something unique from that standpoint. And this one we see all the time now. That is a legal forward pass. So if that ball hits the ground, what is it? Back up to it again.
And what you'll see a lot of times is that guy, he's really batting that ball. Even if he just bats it, okay? Don't call that an illegal bat, right? In that situation, just let him have that. But if it is incomplete, wave it off. If you don't, you're gonna have a lot more trouble to get out of it.
Puts it up high so it's in their face.
You gotta be looking.
You can see
It happens really fast.
And then his natural ability.
Who's gonna see it?
Primarily referee, hopefully.
Got it.
All right, now illegal forward pass. So, what is an illegal forward pass? A forward pass after team possession changes during the down. Pass beyond the neutral zone. A second forward pass during the down. A pass intentionally thrown into an area without eligible A receiver. And a pass intentionally thrown incomplete to save yardage or time. We'll come back to an exception for that in a second. Did you tell him how I used the thing? Oh,
No, of course not.
I gotta let the truth get in the way of it.
Yeah. So, this quarterback, we do not have a tackle box in high school. We don't have any of that. We don't have it.
It went fast.
It did. It did all the above, and it's still illegal. That is an illegal forward pass. There's nobody there. Nobody there. No eligible A receiver. Okay.
Needs to stop.
All right. So this is a spot foul. 5 yards from the spot of the pass. Loss of down.
The mechanics was, who calls that?
The referee is the only one that calls an intentional grounding. Not any back judges throwing flags for intentional grounding. But depending on what's going around with my quarterback, I may not see what happened, or I may not know where the ball went. If he's getting hit, I'm looking at him. I'm not looking to see where the ball goes. And so in my pregame, I will say, if we have something like that, come tell me, and I'll drop the flag late. That's okay. All right. I may throw my flag and I don't see the guy that slipped, or the guy's 5'2", or whatever that's in the area. So again, come tell me and I can pick that up. But that's one where the crew has to come tell me if there was anybody over there or not.
Stop calling the 5-man crew. If the referee doesn't see it, is really watching the quarterback. Now he's got to figure out where the spot is from the illegal flag.
Yeah, but if the quarterback's gonna hit that hard, it's normally that divot in the dirt. So
On that previous play, was that no ball not tipped? It wasn't.
this one
Yeah.
is tipped by the substitute sitting on the down.
I just want to see it.
There's a bad pass.
No.
And there's a bad pass there.
It looked like it.
There's a wounded duck.
Had it been tipped,
Then all that goes away.
He'd have got on record.
under what?
Yeah. You tip it, then they can. Don't wait. You're not gonna see it. Call it complete. Yeah.
I thought it did too.
Chris, obviously a great play, but you can see he throws it about the 8-yard line.
Well, that was an illegal 4 pass. So we got change of
Obviously a
possession.
great play, but you can see he throws
So
it
to
about
the 8, to the 10.
Chris.
That's not a free kick. That wasn't a free kick.
It was doing a return.
On that.
It was doing a return. So you had to change the possession.
Possession.
So you can't throw a legal 4 pass.
It's a new rule they put in 1908.
So here's the one exception to a legal 4 pass. It is legal to spike the ball to conserve time. So a direct hand-to-hand snap, immediately throws the ball forward into the ground. Any bobble, any hesitation makes that an illegal 4 pass. If he takes it and he spikes it, that's legal. Don't forget to count the down. Okay? I mean, it's easy to do, but make sure you count the down, and then spot the ball, and the play clock will be running. All right, so we talked about legal pass. So any B player may catch and advance a legal pass. Eligible A players can catch and advance. The ball remains live if an ineligible A player catches a pass. So an eligible A can catch it, and the ball remains live, but you have a foul for him catching that pass. The illegal pass, illegal 4 pass here, any B player can catch and advance. Any A player can catch and advance. The point is the ball remains live unless it hits the ground. Okay, so if a player catches it, it's an illegal 4 pass, we keep officiating, knowing that we have a foul at the end of the down. And going back to your definition for a catch, remember a catch is establishing player possession of an in-flight ball, player first contact, ground inbounds with 1 foot. Player maintains possession after contacting the ground. And then obviously you're going to consider forward progress. All right, so if a legal or illegal 4 pass is thrown and is complete, the down continues. So any A or B player may catch, pass and bounds. Player needs 1 foot in bounds prior to contacting the sideline, or anything other than another player or official who's out of bounds. Joint possession belongs to the passing team and the down ends. If it's incomplete, the down ends. So pass touches the ground in bounds or out of bounds, not in player possession. Out of bounds player touches the pass. Airborne player lands out of bounds. So we got a bunch of plays here. It's going to be catch or no catch. These are quick for the most part.
So we got
It's quick, but it's quick. 1 foot possession. Another one. He's got possession. Elbow hits it in bounds. He maintains possession on the ground. That's a catch. And that's about as fast as he's going to go.
What's the difference between the mechanics and those two officials? What's the number one thing you notice about the mechanics difference? Standing still versus running. What are your eyes doing when you're running? They are bouncing. That guy, I mean, good for him to be close to where he needed to be, but just stop, right? You can see 10 yards if you're on the goal line. Stop, let it happen. And you can see that a lot faster, a lot clearer, rather not as fast.
Kentucky, James Blue with the catch.
Yep. So again, he gets possession of the ball before he lands out of bounds. He got it. Got a back, got an elbow on the ground, got a butt. That's a catch. And he holds on to it.
To give credit to here is Michael Brewer. When he squeezes the football, this will be an excellent look at it as he catches the ball. Where's the right foot? I think he's going to drop the left foot. The right foot had come off.
This is where the artificial field is helpless because you can see the cover.
Excellent job by Michael Brewer. Got that hit on the first half.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Yeah, that was late. And so this would be one where I wouldn't know what happened downfield. So I'm looking at the quarterback. So complete, incomplete, intentional grounding, I don't have a clue. So somebody has to tell me what we have. And so if it's inbounds or out of bounds or incomplete, we need good signals from the wing guys so we know what we have. So this one is interesting. What else do you have on this play? We got a one-handed catch for a touchdown and a 5-yard face mask if you choose to call it.
If you choose to see it, you'll be doing great because your eyes should be where?
Right.
Your eyes should be on the feet because you need to start from the feet up, right? Feet in, because if his feet's out, it don't matter if you got the ball or not, right? So start with the feet and then work your way up. And by the time you get to that face mask, that's come and gone.
Right.
Come and go. But if you got it, that's a great call. But the most important thing is what? Catch or
Feet and the ball. All right. Here's the last one of these.
That's true too.
It's 7 o'clock, right?
And that ball is pulled in.
So let's get a foot down. And what else do you have? He gets the ball inside the pylon. He's got a touchdown.
And that ball is pulled in. Oh, a touchdown.
Got a lot of stuff going on that play. So I would encourage you to go back and see all these, watch all these again. I played them fast because that's how it works. I mean, when we're out there, but go back and take a look at these things. And again, feet, then ball. So pass eligibility. So we've talked about what is illegal and illegal for a pass, but now we've got pass eligibility restrictions as well. This only applies to illegal for a pass. A player releases the ball with both feet as a passer in a behind line of scrimmage. And remember, the neutral zone is a plane. So if the ball is released, meeting the criteria, it's a legal forward pass, then there are eligibility restrictions for A. All B players are eligible. Only certain A players are eligible. So who are the eligible A players? Backs and ends, not numbered 50 through 79. So you have to be eligible by position and by number. Ineligible receivers are positioned between the ends or numbered 50 through 79. A player remains eligible. A player eligible at the start of the down remains eligible throughout the down. And this typically comes up with illegal participation. But just remember that that player is eligible throughout the down. So if you're eligible at snap, nothing can happen to you to make you ineligible. All of A players become eligible after B touches a forward pass. All right, so some examples here. So who are the eligible receivers here? All right, we've got number 10. We've got the guy with the long hair coming out of the back there in the back. We've got number 20. We got these two players over here that are eligible. What about this player here? Is he eligible?
No.
Why, yeah, he is not eligible by number. He could be eligible by position because he's the end, but he's not eligible by number.
Not bad.
Well, we're not.
Still got to report.
Well, we're not in the NFL. So, all right. So is this player eligible? If he lines up there, is he eligible?
Yeah.
Is number 75? Is he eligible? No. Is this player here number 89? Is he going to be eligible?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So why is this important? Well, ineligible players are restricted during a legal forward pass. And they're restricted in movement, i.e. ineligible downfield. They're restricted from touching the pass, i.e. illegal touching. So we have to know who these are. So ineligible downfield. Linemen restricted from moving downfield until a legal forward pass crosses the neutral zone and flight. A may block in the expanded neutral zone if they contact B lineman at the snap and the contact continues. Okay. So remember the expanded neutral zone can be expanded up to 2 yards in the field of play, so it does not go into the end zone. And it's only in one direction, towards the defensive line of scrimmage, or 2 yards behind the defensive line of scrimmage. So linemen are restricted from moving forward until a legal forward pass crosses the neutral zone, and they may block in the expanded neutral zone if they contact B at the snap and contact continues. So in this picture, is number 62 eligible to block into the expanded neutral zone? No. He's not contacting anybody at the snap. Restrictions end when B touches the pass in or behind the neutral zone. So again, if B touches the ball, then everything's fair game. This does not apply to an illegal forward pass or a legal forward pass caught in or behind the neutral zone. That's why teams run screens. Okay, because that pass is caught in or behind the neutral zone. And so that is legal. So again, that requires some communication. Your umpire may see number 62 5 yards downfield and drop his flag, and the ball's caught behind the line of scrimmage. The wing guys need to come get together in the downs. They know ball is caught behind the line of scrimmage to pick up the flag. Okay. So, key questions to ask here. Was it a legal forward pass? Remember, these only apply to legal forward passes. Did the pass cross the neutral zone untouched by B? Was an eligible A player downfield prior to the pass crossing the neutral zone? And does the expanded neutral zone exemption apply? Is there an eligible receiver in this formation? Is he ineligible by number or position? Position. He's covered up. And what is our mechanic signal for this? Punch. Yep. Which direction? Defense. All right, that's a good. Oops. What we got there? We got a couple guys, yeah, dancing down here. So we have a legal forward pass, and we have half the linemen think it's a running play, and the other half think it's a passing play. And there they go. Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. All right. Uh-oh. This looks like a disaster. Yeah, so we got some linemen downfield here. And in this day and age of these RPOs and everything, we really have to be aware of this because the linemen sometimes think it's a running play and turns out to be a passing play, and they're 5 yards downfield. Primarily umpire. However, wing guys, you see number 72 standing by the umpire. You can help on this. He should have this one, but if he sneaks in behind, sometimes you may not see it. So wing guys, you can't help on this, okay? Illegal touching. So an ineligible A player bats, muffs, catches a legal forward pass. This has to be an intentional act. I like that. I just like this.
Like this.
I like it.
You wish you had it.
The last one you ever kept it. Now, there's not much dead ball officiating there, but we'll do more about that tonight. Yeah, so, quarterback's running back there. Throws a legal forward pass. 72 catches it, so he's ineligible by number and probably by position. And gets the lid up. Now, if B had touched that pass, if B had tipped it or touched it or anything, now that is legal. Okay? And illegal touching is a loss down foul. Now, here's another one. All right, so he touches it, so that makes this legal. The umpire gets run over. But because we touched it, the old lineman there can catch the football and run with it.
It's a running play. Carson Palmer is going to take advantage and throw the quick route. It's not up in the air, and the left guard, Upati, catches it. Robinson was the one who batted it
Bouncing out in there, he catches
and
it.
then another player, Floyd, on
The
the
umpire, he got out of there.
Tripping the umpire.
He got out of there. He's like, I'm getting out of this nasty man. But that was, now what if the quarterback throws it and it hits the lineman in the back of the head? That is not intentional. So that is not illegal touching. And you can't, if the quarterback gets in the back of the head, that's not. What do you have if this circle player catches a legal forward pass?
Multiple times.
All right, so what would be foul number one? So we have ineligible downfield. It's covered up. Can't go anywhere. And we have illegal touching. And so which one are you going to enforce? Why? Lost down. Yep. No, not anymore. That's old. Yeah, not anymore. Yeah.
You took the words out of my mouth.
I took that away. All right, and this takes us to the final section, pass interference. So this takes us to the final section of pass interference. This is pass interference.
Oh, yeah.
Flag
If
George, what you got?
No. You know what, I'm going to do anything to win, anything to win.
all right, so pass interference. So to have pass interference, you have to have certain requirements. Number one being a legal forward pass. So if you have an illegal forward pass, can you have pass interference? No. Illegal forward pass. Illegal. Yeah.
Did you say legal or illegal?
Illegal. If you have an illegal forward pass, can you have pass interference?
No.
The pass has to cross the neutral zone. So if the pass is behind the neutral zone, can you have pass interference?
No.
No. And it has to be untouched by R. So if R touches the pass, I'm sorry, if B touches the pass, then you cannot have pass interference. A restrictions
That's all right, anyway.
begin at the snap. Okay, so when the ball is snapped, A is restricted. So even though we haven't thrown a pass yet, A is prevented from doing certain things in anticipation of a pass being thrown. B restrictions occur when the ball is released. But B has a little bit more freedom because B doesn't know what's coming. Well, in theory, all the A players should know. So when do restrictions end? So A's restrictions end when an eligible A player, A restrictions end for eligible A players when a pass is touched by A or B. And eligible A players may block or ward off an opponent to prevent them from legally catching a pass, but they cannot intentionally touch the pass. So they can still block. So if they're blocking the line of scrimmage and the lineman jumps up to try to catch the ball or bat the ball, and he's still blocking him, that's legal. That's not pass interference. It's right there at the line of scrimmage. Well, as soon as B touches it, now ineligible A players are able to do whatever they want to do. B restrictions end when the pass is touched by any A or B player. So again, a little bit more lenient for B. All right. Not pass interference by A. Not by B. So if we have unavoidable contact between two eligible players moving to catch the pass, then that is not pass interference. Okay. Again, an eligible A player may block an expanded neutral zone if they contact B lineman at the snap and the contact continues. That's what we're talking about. If that lineman jumps up in the air to try to bat it or catch it, and A is blocking him, that is legal if it's in the expanded neutral zone under certain criteria. Not pass interference for B if, again, unavoidable contact between two or more players, eligible players, while attempting to move toward catch or bat pass. And remember, all the B players are eligible. B contacts A obviously away from the pass direction. So if the quarterback throws it to the right hash and B contacts a receiver on the left hash, that's not pass interference. It could be something else, but it's not pass interference. All right. So pass interference, legal forward pass, contacts beyond the neutral zone. A or B contact hinders eligible opponent's opportunity to move toward, catch, bat, the pass. Okay, so that's the criteria. So as we go over these next several slides, to wrap it up and watch these videos, just be thinking of that criteria.
My daughter got called for that when it was with the Redskins.
Watch this real quick again. So.
To bring a little clarity to the offensive pass interference call that occurred in last night's Notre Dame Florida State game, let me see if I can explain the rule. Offensive players on passing plays are restricted from going downfield and blocking anytime from the snap. If the ball is first touched behind the line of scrimmage, then that would be legal and it's okay. But if the ball is touched beyond the line, then it's offensive pass interference. Officials always have to exercise great judgment in calling a foul. And offensive pass interference, or pick plays as they're sometimes referred to, are no different than other difficult judgments. The key element is that the official must assess on the play if there is sufficient restriction for it to be a foul. And he has to differentiate between incidental contact and significant contact or significant restriction before he calls that foul.
After the win,
So if he would have caught that behind the line of scrimmage, it would
They've been perfectly fine, but he caught it beyond. All right, here's another one. But this is a close one. So watch the receiver. Watch up here at the top up here. Watch what they do. And a 5-man crew, I'm not sure he's going to get it once the back there gets it, but it's close. Okay, he blocked before that. We blocked it before the guy caught it. But that's a hard one for us to see in a 5-man crew. So he comes inside.
Oh, that's
So that's
other side of the field.
Hardest working lady in the high school age, Tammy.
All right, so another one. And I'm not saying these are pass interference, these are just the questions you have to be asking yourself.
Yeah, we know we're gonna kill for sure.
So, is he hindered? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Is he hindered? What we can't really tell on the video is that hand, that back arm. Did you hook him? Did you grab him? Did you pull his jersey? Did he hinder him, or did he just make a good effort and cut him off and catch the football? So that's a judgment call that we have to see. There's another one. All right, so watch the receiver at the top of the screen here. Watch where he does. There's a good block. But because the quarterback threw it, we have a foul. If he kept running it, we wouldn't have a foul. And that's where these RPOs will get these teams in trouble sometimes. All right, now we get the kind of college guys here. The Big Ten has all sorts of plays online. So he's got him wrapped up and he turns him. That's passing.
His name is Perry. It's dirty.
All right, and then
William Perry.
a whole bunch from this Michigan State thing. Somebody was mad after this game.
Look at the hands. TJ's got hands all over him. Denard's got
That looks
hands
pretty
all
good to
over
me.
him.
I think that's pretty good defense. I don't know if that should be called. But again, those are the questions you're asking yourself on these plays. Remember, B has a right to that football too.
Oh, now.
How much a little bit more obvious? Yeah, you know what? Oh my God, I'm gonna use you to get to the football. That's all right. I didn't do it.
And if they get called every once in a while, and he had his head to the back, he didn't see the snap. Now there was the hole right around the 40-yard line. Denard, I really like it.
Yeah, he watched it right at the start. So he kind of grabs it back and kind of holds on to him and pulls it close to him. That's the one we got to get.
Denard, I really like it.
Evidently, it's one of those games. I guess Michigan State was going to ask it for try to every play and to see if they call it.
Side position on the big wideout. This ball should be thrown deeper and higher. I got a feel it's that right about there. Now again, I don't like.
I mean, that's good defense right there. That's good defense. That's not passing interference. That's
Coached by a Gamecock,
all
so I'll
right.
let you know.
2 more
Michigan
slides
State.
and we will be done.
I remember this.
Smack.
So this is a hard one because he never turns to play the ball. So the question is, does the contact?
That was a rule change. 2000.
Right, but he contacts him.
2001.
Yeah, but he contacts him. And so the judgment call there is that's
You and Biles.
so that is a conversation. The back judge and the wing official didn't have a conversation on that one. Make sure everybody's on the same page.
Phil Lewis said he had to.
Oh, Lewis.
But again, that's one where there has to be communication there to make sure, because one angle is totally different than the other. Max angle is, all Max sees is this guy in here burning into his chest. And then Biles is a different angle, get together, make sure everybody's on the same page on that. And that's one where you have to talk in the corners of the end zones. You got to get together and talk about it.
Hey, Sam, did they talk about it?
Well,
Eventually, they talked about it, right?
Great conversation, right? Good time to be an
All right,
expert.
and this is from last year. I cleaned it up a little bit for the exam question. So A has 8 men on the line of scrimmage, A88 covered up by A87. Both players go downfield on a legal forward pass. The ball is thrown in the direction of A88. A88, so he's covered up, and he goes downfield. So that makes him what? Ineligible. Okay. And now the pass is thrown in the direction of A88 makes an unavoidable contact with B1 while attempting to catch the pass. The ball glances off of A88's hands without touching B1. The pass hits the ground and is incomplete. What's the ruling on this? So we know we got another ground field, and he touches it, and we have illegal touching. Did A88 hinder B1's opportunity to catch the pass?
no.
Is A88 eligible?
No.
So if an ineligible player goes downfield and contacts a B player while that B player is trying to go catch the pass, you have pass interference. It's not automatically pass interference anymore. But in this case, you do, because B1's trying to go catch the pass, and AAA prevents him from doing so.
30 yards.
About the time we raised the dues from 65 to 75.
So from a penalty administration standpoint on this one, you have this last slide. So you have a question for the coach. What does illegal touching carry with it? What does offensive pass interference carry with it? And replay the down. So he has to make a decision. He may decide to take a 5-yard penalty and take away the down instead of the 15-yard penalty and replaying the down. And so you have to make sure that you talk to the coach about that to make sure that you don't the ineligible. We don't care about that. But these other two, there's a conversation to be had with the coach about what he wants to do option-wise for that. Any questions on the passing game? There's a ton more videos on the website. If you click on Rule 7 videos, there's a lot more videos to look at in terms of pass interference and catch, no catch, and things like that. We ought to look at as well.
Thank you.
Edwin, see you Wednesday night.
This is good.
Signed by Shannon Faulkner.
Yeah.
You're welcome, buddy.
Here. How you doing?